And and I left midday, like actually before 11, and was like, what is with all this traffic? I couldn't figure it out. It was like it was really the drive from all get out. Right off the bat, our first state route, I got behind a truck that like had trash coming out of the back of its truck, like hitting the car. And thankfully, there was, a couple cars in front of me. So I was just dodging it and just hoping that they didn't crash. So that was the first. Then I got on 95, and the big tractor trailers, they had giant chunks of ice flying up off the top and slamming down into the road.
Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
like, all I could think, I'm like, please don't hit my windshield. Please don't hit my windshield. And so that was even before I got out of Maine. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Because there's never like I've left midday on a Friday, and usually there's no traffic until about 2, 3 o'clock, and then people getting out of work early or heading to their destinations. And I was like, oh, and then yeah, the traffic, it was just nonstop. I think there was maybe 3 car accidents I ended up sitting for. But once I got to New Jersey, I stayed with Audra from Jersey History Hunter, and hung out there for the night. And once I was able to like park the truck and be like, basically all of that went away. And it was like, I think if you saw my post on Facebook, it's true. We were like kids on Christmas Eve, couldn't wait to um, wait to get out there. And
Right.
we knew it was going to be cold. And yeah, I had the snow goggles with me. But the wind really on Saturday to me wasn't too bad. I mean, I didn't end up pulling them out. I should have on Sunday, but the only time that the wind affected me on Sunday was when we were walking back down the beach to head out. And at that point, I'm like, my hands were so cold. I'm like, I can't even get in
Mm.
my backpack to grab them. So
Holy moly.
but yeah, we stayed. So yeah, that morning, so Saturday morning, we both took our own vehicles, and we drove to the parking area. So we got to watch the sunrise over the bay and like over the city, and it was so pretty.
Oh,
And then
beautiful.
like there was hardly any cars there, and we get to the beach, and it's like, yay! And you know me, so right off the bat, there was like pebbly areas. So I'm searching, I'm finding beads and jewels, and
Of course.
um, because I love that. It's one of those things where I'm like, do I want to look for the metal things, or do I want to look for the um, but it was great. Saturday was absolutely an awesome time. I found a whole bunch of goodies that, at first when you find things, and it was still cold. I think I was wearing 2 fleece-lined pants and 3 thermals and a sweatshirt and a parka, and it was cool. It was definitely cold.
Wow.
I had those hand warmers in both my pant pockets and my jacket pockets, though. So each time my
Yeah.
hands got too cold, I just kind of like held on to them for a little bit, and then I was like, all right, time to do it again. Keep finding stuff. But we did like a mix of what you and I did with the I Spy, and then the just scraping the sand. But there was, from when you and I went last, the sand was really in. So like all of the areas that we would have, that we saw before, they were all sanded in, so you couldn't see them. They were just like up at the top. Um, it was crazy. It was crazy. You knew that there was good stuff there. You just didn't know
Right.
really where. So you had to, put 2 and 2. Oh, I spotted in the sand some metal sticking out. Okay, here I'm gonna scratch. And it really is.
Right.
You're only scratching like an inch down to kind of see what might be there. And but I did. I ended up with like this cross pendant type thing that I think
Ooh.
on Facebook some people said was like a Masonic or something along those lines.
Oh.
And I ended up on Saturday with a like a big um World War II and up, um, like the Great Seal. It was
Hmm.
huge, huge Great
I
Seal.
saw your picture of that. Somebody posted it. You or maybe it was Audra. I don't remember. Saw a picture of you holding. It looked like the Great Seal up. I was like, oh, I think that is what goes on the hat. Isn't that the
Yep.
hat?
Yeah, Karen actually, and I don't know if she's in chat or not, but um, KK sent a picture of herself. It's the USAF enlisted hat insignia badge. And she posted a
Hmm.
picture of herself with the hat with the badge on. I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
So cool. Yeah, my dad had one on his hat too. That is just so cool. I oh, I would love to find one of those. I've found, I think almost all of those, the buttons, the great seal, the one, I think it is like a collar pin, if I remember correctly, but I've never found the hat pin. I really want to find the hat one now. Very cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was pretty funny too because I'd be like, um, oh, I found a marble, and then Audra would be like, I found a marble, and then I think at one point she said she found a coin, and then I found a coin, and found a bead, and then she found a bead, and I found a gemstone, and then she found a gemstone. So it was awesome. Like it was back and forth. We're like, yay! Um,
That is awesome. So let me ask you, and what was y'all's like? I mean, you already talked about the possibly Masonic or whatever symbol,
mhm.
and then that piece there that you found also that goes on the Great Seal um, pin thing. Um, would you say those were your favorite finds? I know you found silver, and I think she did too. Correct?
I think she did find a Merc. Audra will have to say in
Awesome.
chat if she did or didn't. Um, so um, this might sound weird, but the iron or brass knuckles were probably my favorite find. Um,
The
because
what?
I found like a set of brass knuckles.
You did? That's
Yeah, like
cool.
the back the mafia, and you know, I,
Right,
we've
kind of that time period where they would have probably,
chucked them or
they carried those around,
yeah.
Johnny
Because
Depp.
we find tokens and we find keys and we find jewelry pieces and the military stuff, but how often can you say you found a set of
Truth,
knuckles?
truth. You know what that reminds me of, though? That I still have in one of my cases. It wasn't brass knuckles, but I did find. I might have found some, but I don't think they were brass.
Yeah, I think these are
I'll have to
iron,
go.
maybe. I
I have to go look at mine. Yeah, I think mine are something. I don't think they're brass, but um, I'll have to send you a pic. It's something I found a long time ago, way before I had my YouTube channel. I, and I found it on the beach, and it's something you hold like brass knuckles in your hand, but it's got this pointy thing on it. Like
hmm.
it's very dangerous. It's definitely a weapon. I mean, I have to go find it. It's in one of my many cases of finds and post it sometime for you. I send it to you.
That'd
But
be
it
awesome.
just reminded me of that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Oh, um, I have found. I think it was a necklace that was like it was a necklace that was brass knuckles
That's
as
crazy.
well. But they're not. They're
Like a
miniature size.
charm.
They're not
Yeah.
real. Yeah, like a charm. And then, grenade as a charm too. Before found that at a park.
Hmm.
Anyway, sorry. Just
Ah,
going back on finds all of a sudden, making me think of one find and then another find. Um, but that's cool find. Now, what was your other one? You said you found the knuckles, the brass knuckle things, or iron
yep.
knuckles. What else?
So So the problem is it was so cold that it was one of those things even on Saturday, and you know what it's like. You're racing the tide. So you're trying to find as much as you can, trying to jam in as much as you can in the time period that you're there.
Right.
And the tide is
Yep.
going to chase you out. Or on Sunday, it was the weather that eventually chased us out. Um, so I have an entire bag of like bigger items that
Uh-huh.
there was some cool things, but I haven't even I, they're still sitting in the bag. Um, and uh, yeah, it was. I mean, in front of me, I have a bunch of pewter jewelry, and you know me, I love finding the little jewelry. A skeleton key.
Oh yeah.
I did find the
I
skeleton
did
key, so
see
that was
that you had a
cool.
skeleton key. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that was
Something
neat.
I will say, I don't know if I sent it to you, but did I? I think I got commissioned to paint a raven with a
Yes,
skeleton key in its mouth. And when I saw your skeleton key, I think it was about the time I was painting that painting with
it's awesome.
the raven. So that was cool. I
That's
love skeleton keys. You know
yeah.
that?
Yes, that's awesome. Um, So Saturday, I mean, we ended up finding some cool things. She got some bottle stoppers. I had that on my list for Sunday. Was finding a little perfume bottle stopper, but that didn't happen. And then Sunday we stayed at the same place that you and I stayed because it's right there. It's super close and it's right on the strip, so food's right there and worked out great. And then Sunday, when we met Anthony, who is the Brooklyn treasure hunter, he met us there to go, to go treasure hunting with us as well. So that was a blast. That was a blast. It was awesome getting to meet him. And then it did. The on Sunday, the wind and the cold was just so much worse than Saturday. It was one of those like once it got to the bone, it just hurt. It hurt to bend over to look. It hurt to kneel. It hurt. It just hurt. It was so cold.
Mm.
So I did end up finding it ended up with two rings. One is a big pewter ring, and then
Really?
one is I think a kid's ring. Um, and then I had a bird and a heart theme. I ended up with a
Ah.
big like brass heart pendant and then a
Hmm.
pewter heart with like little stones in it, and then a pewter heart with stones that has a bird sitting on top of it. And then I found a pewter bird with gemstones in it. And I love, I love the old jewelry like that. Now,
Oh, that's my favorite.
don't ask me how to
That
clean pewter.
type
I
of
have
stuff.
not figured it out yet.
Yeah, pewter and zinc, and those are the hard ones to clean. Super hard.
Yeah, and Wayne was right. You don't want to clean up. You want to leave something, but at the same time too, I'm not trying to clean like I don't have time this week anyway, but it's one of those deals where once it gets so cold here, it's nice to have a backstash, of like things to clean up and it will be crazy what I end up figuring out what some stuff is. Be like, I don't know. But it really was. It was a
Yeah.
great time. It was crazy. Sunday, I think we were out there for 3 or 3.5 hours. And by the time that we left, I looked and put it into the GPS and it was like 4.5 hours. I'm like, yay! I'll get home before dark. So,
Wow.
so still got to go out treasure hunting and was able to still make it home while it was light out. And oh man, I don't know which bridge it is, but the gusts of wind hitting the truck on it, and it's like you're basically on top of the car next to you. That was a little, it was a little scary. Like, it freaked me out quite a bit. Um, I guess that's just not. something I deal with a lot in Maine. Plus,
Right.